Hi.
Let's go to the beach.
Yes. Love that.
Where's my vape?
Ugh, ew, girl.
Oopsies.
Oh my God, I love this outfit.
I'm shook with you.
Where are my Tums?
Oh, you're so iconic. Hi.
Welcome to the Iconic and Irrelevant podcast. We're two icons.
Really just talk about irrelevant things, but we are fucking iconic.
Period. So as you see, we have a little festivity happening today. So when you guys are watching this a week ago on Monday, June 19th, it was Santi's 25th birthday. Eight. So in order to celebrate him, we have a very special episode. We also wanted to touch base with Santi's coming out story. A part of who Santi is a very confident, beautiful, sexy man, and I feel like that has a lot to do with being comfortable in his own skin. And I know that always hasn't been the case, and I want you to kind of talk about that. Being a gay man, also it is Pride Month. It is June.
Happy Pride. Pride.
Love is love.
Love is love. I just hit myself.
I'm a big ally.
She is. She really is. She really is.
Yes.
She really is.
So today's episode, we're going to be focusing all on Santi, his coming out story, and overall, just you being you. I want today to be the highlight of celebrating Santi for who he is. And I feel like you have brought so much joy in my life. And I know that I said this in episode 1, but I want to reiterate this to you and say that I'm so happy to celebrate you for another year. And I'm so happy that you're here on this earth and that we get to do this together.
I love you.
So much fun. Even though sometimes I want to fucking kill him, but I do love him forever. So let's pop this shit, bitch.
Alrighty.
Wait, you do it.
Okay, yeah.
It's your episode.
Well, while I do this, I want to say thank you for your beautiful words. You mean a lot to me too.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very glad that I got to do this because I've always wanted to tell my side of the story to help people that were in my situation a long time ago, because I know how hard it can be on you, yourself, your persona, and growing up. So come for the ride.
Yes. We're trying to make Santi cry today. That is the goal. Not because we want views or anything, that would help, but I feel like Santi holds in a lot of things, and I feel like luckily for me, I've had the opportunity and the experience to kind of like break your barriers down a little bit.
You really have.
But this is something that I want you to kind of talk about because I feel like it's so important for anyone out there to hear your story, because it could relate to people and you don't even know it. So I think that's
so many
key.
people.
Yeah. Are you ready? I'm scared. Fuck. Woo! Santi's 25. 25. And now we're going to sing you happy birthday. We got cupcakes because, bitch, we're not gonna do a whole cake. I love you, but we're saving that for your birthday.
I'm the one that told you to get cupcakes.
Yeah.
She's stealing my ideas.
Okay.
Hold on, I did this so poorly.
Oh my God.
I'm not even drunk yet.
Ooh, oh my God, girl, that's all bubbles.
Yeah, wait till it simmers down.
Right. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Santi. Happy birthday to you. Did you make a wish?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Wow.
Buy us out Spotify.
For real?
My
Oh my God, bitch.
Whatever.
Baby, do you want some? Oh, fucking Johnny's fucking.
Hi, Johnny.
Because you're a free bitch, baby. This is what Please. Hold on. Look at this. This is what Santi served me.
And this is what I served myself.
Get the fuck out of here. Look at this. Cheers. You're
Cheers.
25.
25. I am
Bad
literally a
bitch.
quarter.
That's so young when you think about it that way.
I know, but a quarter of a life.
Yeah. Non-spons. Stop. It's not that bad.
It tastes like brunch.
Let's eat this cupcake before we get into it.
Okay.
I want one. Are you gonna eat it?
Yeah, I'm gonna eat it. You just okay. You're eating the one that the candle was lit in. We're about to lick the frosting.
Not us doing a fucking full ass porn. God, you're like 25. Alrighty, time to get deep in the roots of your emotional garden. Okay, so now I want to get into the real topic of celebrating yourself. So we all know you as this funny, goofy, confident man. And I wanted to ask you, has that always been the case? Like growing up, is that always been your personality?
Well, growing up, I definitely was always the jokester, joking around, sassy person I am. Um, it was the case for me growing up, being myself and always prioritizing being myself because I grew up by Lady Gaga. So, so she definitely came into my core of my life and she taught me that I had to be myself, never be afraid to be yourself. And actually, there's a quote I got inspired by growing up that she said, which is, if you don't have any shadows, you're not in the light.
Damn.
So I don't know, that really got to me. And I always made sure that I was always myself because whenever I would try to hide myself, it wasn't fun. I didn't feel good about myself.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily I had a good support system when it comes to friends growing up. Not all of them in the beginning because you're young, you're a kid, you still don't know what's what. But I always made sure I put my foot forward and was always myself,
Mm-hmm.
which is something that a lot of guys that I went to in high school told me afterwards when they came out there, like, you were never afraid to be yourself, and I was always inspired by that.
Yeah, that's very beautiful.
So somehow I made it.
Somehow you deserve everything you have now by being yourself. And I feel like a part of that comes with being comfortable, like in your skin. So how young were you when you like discovered who you were? And was it ever a moment that you're like, oh, like, you know, I feel like I like boys, or like, do I like girls? Like, was it ever a question, or you just knew who the fuck you were?
Well,
Like
number
from the
one,
womb?
I was born with platforms, and you can put that on the record. So I was born gay. I've always known.
Damn, for real?
Yeah, like ever since I was little, like, I mean, I didn't really think about it in the sense like, do I like boys? Do I like girls? I just remember like I just always knew like I wasn't regular, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. Like in that mindset at that time, I just knew like my mom would always tell me like man and woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like ever since I was little, and I was always like, oh my god, but I think I like men.
Mm-hmm.
So I always knew, and ever since I was little, I used to put on Shakira concerts, imitate her, obsessed with The Little Mermaid. Literally, came out of the womb gay.
I love that. So you knew who you were. So do you think that was like a big reason why you felt so comfortable, like in your skin?
I actually felt uncomfortable. I actually felt really uncomfortable to a point that from a young age, I learned that, well, I didn't learn. I thought I had to immediately disassociate from my family because I knew they weren't about it. So I always,
Wow.
from a young age, understood that in the future, I knew I liked men and my family wasn't about it, that I immediately, and it started off with like my mom's side of the family, my cousins,
Mm-hmm.
because they're very conservative. They're from Colombia, by the way, not like America conservative. But I instantly knew, and I remember like thinking to my head, I'm like, I have to make this choice now to disassociate from them because they won't ever accept me.
Oh, that's sad.
It's what goes with this, you
Mhm.
know. But luckily, I do have cousins in that family which watch the podcast. Los amo.
Aw.
And they've been a great support system. In fact, like a lot of them that I'm close to knew I was gay because I would make like performances from for them and like Shakira and Hannah
Mhm.
Montana and all these things. So that was definitely something that I did learn as a kid is you are not what your parents are gonna accept, so disassociate. And that took a toll because I disassociated even from my own family.
Mhm.
I didn't want to put myself in a position where I was like in my head, I don't want to put too much love knowing that I'm going to get rejected by my family in the future. That's something that I developed from a
Yeah.
very young age.
Did you feel like that made you distant from your family?
Yes.
So what is like distant for you? Because I know distance, sorry, is like very different for every individual. So what are some of the things that you felt like were normal for other families that for you weren't normal? That you're like, oh, maybe my parents should be involved in X, Y, and Z, but because of this reason, I'm not gonna involve them.
So, my personal life,
Mhm.
my parents still to this day don't know, like, I always say, like, they don't know, like, the real me. They know, like, the person that they saw growing up, but
Mhm.
they don't know the real me. So, my personal life, my interests, my opinions even I feel like don't matter because like I said from a young age I learned I am not going to be accepted.
Mhm.
Therefore I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I'm not going to live my life a lie and I'm not going to get hurt either. So but I did have a groups of friends were my support system, and something that my family always tells me is you prioritize your friends more than your family.
Because they support you more than your own
Even
family.
my
Mhm.
friends' parents, I consider them more like my. Well, no, I don't consider because my family's my real family, and I love them to death, no matter what, no matter what.
Mhm.
But growing up, I did prioritize my friends over my family because, again, I learned to disassociate since I was little, and I was welcomed by my friends to be myself. So I thought of them as my family, even my friends' parents.
Yeah.
I thought of them more as like parents or family because I knew they accepted me for
Mhm.
me.
And they were like supportive of you, like from the moment they met you, your friends' parents.
Right. Well, I'm Colombian, so
Mhm.
when you're little, you're taught to have good manners, always respond, thank you,
Mhm.
si señor, no señora. So my friends' parents always loved me because I was very respectful. And then when they saw like my evolution, they loved it.
Mhm.
And some of them are even like they're not with the gay stuff or LGBTQ stuff, but just because they know me personally and they know that I was very respectful and I was a good kid,
Mhm.
they were supportive, which is something I was always like, I know that my mom can accept me because I see it in other families, but
Right.
why is it so hard for her own kid?
Yeah.
It's something I always questioned. Like, I'm like, it's not impossible, it's possible.
Mhm. Do you feel it from like both sides of your like parents, like your dad and mom?
So when I was younger, I definitely felt like I couldn't even count on anybody.
Oh, yeah.
Like not even my sister,
Mhm.
which is sad. But um, my sister was the first person in my family I told, and she was very supportive after that, and she was like, I just
Mhm.
want you to be happy and be you. Um, I didn't really know if my parents like that situation, like I was just like, no, it's not gonna happen. They're not gonna accept me. They're not gonna
Mhm.
ever do that. But recently I've learned because there was a situation that happened 2 years ago where I had to leave home because it had to do with that. Because there
Mhm.
was a bunch of lines that were crossed and I just felt disrespected. Um, and my dad was always the one to reach out to me. And I sat down with my dad. I told him, I'm like, let's go to Pisco y Nazca because they have the
You'll pay.
yes, because they have the wine I love for happy hour prices. And to have this conversation, a boy needs a drink. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I barely drink wine. Oh my god, girl. Not the fucking. Like all this. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
And he reached out after I left. By the way, Vito, thank you for taking me in for free.
Shout
um
out
Again.
Vero. She loves when I sing her name.
Yeah, she does. And he reached out to me and I sat down with him and I remember like we were just going over it and I told him, I'm like, you guys have nothing to worry about in my sense of feeling insecure or what I think about what people think about me because I don't give a fuck. I know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't bother me. It's never bothered me. And all he told me was, you're my son. You're grown. I will love you no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, from my dad's perspective, he's been very welcoming and opening. In fact, he found our podcast the other day. Thanks, Maria, my sister.
What's your dad's name?
Hector.
Hector. Yes, Hector. I've been wanting to meet you for so long and try your delicious food.
He cooks really good.
Yes.
But then my mom is a completely different story.
Yeah. I wonder what it is. Like, do you think that she had this expectation as like a son, and then like now that her expectations are not there, that maybe she feels like she's partially the reason for it, even though it has nothing to do with her.
So I've always also understood that I have to understand my mom no matter how she feels. You have to
Mhm.
understand that where she comes from and everything. And my mom comes from a very conservative family in Colombia.
Mhm.
She comes from a small town where everybody knows each other. Everybody knows the gossip on each other. And they were raised in religious households, which in Latin America is like on steroids.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the beliefs, the whole nine. And I understand that my mom is the way she is because of the way she was raised.
Mhm.
And you can't change a person, but you can teach a person. And from my mom's perspective, she did have an idea of, I guess, what if she ever had a son, what he would be like, which is grow up, get a job, get a wife,
Mhm.
have kids, move
Mhm.
on. The traditional aspect, because she's
Yeah.
very traditional. So I believe her expectations weren't met, but my side of the argument is when you decide to have a kid, you need to be aware that all these things are possibilities. You don't know if your kid's going to come out with a disability. You don't know if they're going to come out gay, straight. If you want a kid, you need to be open to the fact that all these things could be possibilities, and what you expect your child to be, they won't be, because your child is its own person.
Mhm.
And that's something that as a parent, if you plan to have kids, you need to be open to the idea and you need to be there for your kids,
Mhm.
no matter how they come out.
Yeah. Wow, that was very powerful.
Thank you. I've had 25 years.
So, speaking of the subject of like your mom, I know that you had a conversation with your dad, I guess, coming out. You had a conversation with your sister coming out. Did you ever have that conversation with your mom and it just like didn't end up good, or
I wouldn't say it was a conversation. I would say it was more of an argument. But I've recently learned to stand up for myself because I used to be terrified,
yeah.
super scared of that. And it's when you're coming out, the fear is that the people that you love won't love you back.
Mhm.
Imagine a mom.
Yeah.
They're your world. My mom
Yeah.
is my world.
Mhm.
And just even thinking about what she wouldn't love me because of the way I am is tough,
Mhm.
because when your mom raises you, and I'm a mama's boy,
Mhm.
you know, still to this day, regardless of what my mom thinks, I know for a fact I am loved by her.
Yeah.
I'm just not what she expected.
Mhm.
And it's going to take a lot of time for her. But my mom is also very naive. And my mom loves to live in her own world in that aspect. Like, as much as I can tell her what's what,
Mhm.
she'll disregard it. Naive. Because I've had several situations happen where this topic gets brought up where I've literally told her, like, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay. Like, screamed it. And she still doesn't believe it or accept it. In fact, when I was younger and there was a whole situation that happened, um, it was really rough. And I think that's why it took me so long for me to tell her how I actually, like, I'm gay like that.
Mhm.
Um, because it wasn't the right way for her to do it. There
Mhm.
was like a whole situation. in high school, where she basically caught the person I was with at the time that it was
Mhm.
high school. And, she treated me very poorly. It was everything that I feared came true. So it was like at that point when you grow up with that fear of rejection from the people you love the most and it becomes true, it's very hard because it came true.
Mhm.
And I remember after that I told myself, I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be tough. Growing up, this is gonna be tough. I don't know, I guess I'll deal with it when I'm an adult. And I completely just disregarded just the fact of even trying to get
Mhm.
my mom to understand me.
Yeah. And is that something that affects you with your day-to-day life, like with your personal relationships, with
Oh
the
yeah.
relationships with your friends, like intimate relationships? Like how do you think that affects you?
Every time I meet someone's parents, I'm terrified
Oy.
because it's the fear
Mhm.
of like, will they like me? Do
Yeah.
they know I'm gay and they won't like me because of that? Because I've seen my mom do that.
Mhm.
So anytime I meet a parent, even when I meet a person, even though we're in very open times,
Mhm.
it's still a fear that lives in the back of my head. And it's an insecurity. I always used to say like being gay, growing up being gay in your teen years is an insecurity. That's how I categorized it.
Mhm.
And I grew out of that because you obviously get older and wiser and you realize this is who the fuck I am. But in it is an insecurity like growing up. Will they like me? Will they won't like me? Will they accept me? All we want to feel is be accepted like regular human beings because at the
Mhm.
end of the day we are human beings.
Yeah.
Who you love is something that is for everybody and it's part of the human experience. I
Mhm.
don't understand why the fuck it matters who the fuck you do it with.
Yeah. 100%.
As long as it's healthy,
Mhm.
legal, and
Yeah.
safe,
Mhm.
why the fuck do you care about who people love or who people get married to? Like,
Mhm.
it's part of the love is part of the human experience.
Yep. It's
So
two souls loving each other.
yeah.
That's really it. That's so sad. Like, why is your personal agenda being so affected by something that you don't even like have to necessarily be in, you know?
And still to this day, I still live that way.
Mhm.
I've shared this with you, but I basically kind of still live a double life because I rather just go through the struggle of living a double life than get into an argument with a brick wall.
Mhm. And what is like the double life that you live per
So,
se?
my clothes and everything, I have a locker in my building downstairs in the gym where I keep all my fun, fuzzy, and
Mhm.
like, clothes that like I know because there's been so many situations where like I've had my clothes upstairs and my mom has like thrown them away.
Not the throwing out.
Yeah. So at that point, I just rather, like I said, I rather put in all the work to be myself because that makes me happier than
Mhm.
just constantly fight with my mom because I don't want to do that. And quite frankly, I'm very tired,
Yeah.
very tired. And I don't want to keep doing that. You know how many times I've
Mhm.
gotten glammed like outside my house. And then I even have makeup remover in that locker, everything. And I go in there
I
and I'm like rubbing everything out. And I go back upstairs like if I the same way I left the house. But when I'm outside, I'm someone else. And then when I come
yeah.
back in, it's right back.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That must be so rough.
It is. It's a lot of work.
Mhm.
Like emotionally, it's rough, but physically, it's also a lot of work.
Yeah.
Even one time in space, I remember I got glammed and I had makeup removers hidden in my crotch because I thought they were going to take them away. And they ended
Oh
up
my
finding
god.
them. And they were like, "What's this?" And I'm like, "Makeup remover, double life." And like they
Yeah.
laughed and they're like, "Sorry, we can't let you go in with those." And I'm like, "No, it's fine."
I.
And I just ended up going to my lobby in the building and just rubbing everything out as fast as I could.
Wow. That's so sad. So you think it's more so a thing that you live that double life because you don't want to argue with your mom, or do you feel like it's more so because you're like worried to like disappoint your mom or like
Oh, that's
feel
always that's always in the back of my head. I never want to disappoint my mom, but I
mhm
don't feel like I've disappointed my mom.
mhm
I've just shattered her expectations.
yeah
But that's what happens when you expect. That's why you shouldn't expect.
Period. That's my biggest thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You shouldn't expect anything from your
Mhm.
kid than for them to love you and for you to love them and be there for them. The rest is just camp.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I'm sorry that you have to go through that. Like, I feel like something that a lot of people take for granted being a straight couple is being to be in public and love your partner and show PDA and no one bats an eye.
Yeah.
As soon as you're with someone of the same sex and you're doing the same exact thing as a straight couple would, it's like you're getting
It's the end
eyes
of the
and
world.
yeah, that must be really hard. And especially it coming from your own family. But what if from now to then you meet someone and you meet your boo and like you want to bring him to like meet your family, and then like you're like that will never happen. Like that made me really sad for you because I'm like that's something that I feel like is so natural to want. And for you, I feel like you already come to the terms that you're like, well, if I do that, it's either like a whole entire situation that it's like we're gonna get in a fight with my family, or I rather just completely exit out of my life. Like it's two extremes and it just feels so unfair to you because it's like all you want is to bring the person you love into your family's home and see the person that makes you happy, you know?
Well, I've never gone through that. I don't even know what that's like. And I think that's why growing up and especially after that incident when I was younger with the person I was seeing at the time,
Mhm.
I completely shut out any expectation about being with someone and being accepted by my family. Like it's crazy even when we have like
Mhm.
these meals with my sister's fiance and his family, like I see it and I'm like that would never be me. Like
Mhm.
that could never be me. Who
Mhm.
knows though? Never say never, but
Yeah.
in my eyes right now, like what if I can never have that? Like what if it comes to a point where that's not accepted and
Mhm.
I just have to not like never even like I've even thought about it. I'm like, what if I get married and I invite my family and my parents don't go?
Yeah.
Like I've thought about these things
Mhm.
and in a way I've kind of accepted that reality because again I
Mhm.
don't expect anything
Mhm.
because then I get my hopes up and
Yeah.
there's nothing worse than having your hopes let down, especially by your family.
Mhm.
Um but yeah, that has affected me a lot, like in terms of relationship. I never thought I'd be open with my family, even if I am in a relationship or with someone. I guess now things are a little different because
Mhm.
I know my dad is on my side,
Yeah.
but even then, it's hard
Mhm.
and it's really hard. I really honestly wish that my parents would have accepted me growing up because that way
Mhm.
I could have told them so many things that have happened to me. And I just didn't have the guidance, the correct guidance in life for it.
Mhm.
And I've had to learn a lot on my own, and I've had to learn a lot of lessons the hard way on my own.
Oy. With that being said, do you wish that you had someone kind of like be that guide for you?
Yes.
Like, let's say if you were talking to your younger self, like, what would you tell your younger self if you're able to literally get in a time machine, go back to the most vulnerable state you were in, and just let them know this one piece of advice? Like, what would you tell that young Santiago Schneider?
I would say keep being strong, even though
Mm-hmm.
you don't feel it right now, but you are strong because you've gone through a lot. Um, Never give up on who you are and always stay true to yourself, even though that's something that he already knew at that time. But
Mm-hmm.
like I said, insecurity. And never ever let a soul tell you who you can or cannot be, not even your parents,
Mm-hmm.
ever.
Period. Aw, you're gonna make me cry. I don't know why that's like. I don't know. I feel like that's really beautiful because I feel like I know that you kind of knew that already, But I feel like for so many other people in the LGBTQIA plus community, they are so caught up in their insecurities, like you say, and also in their own heads of like not feeling accepted, and people hide for years and years
Years.
and years. Like it's wild to
I've
think
met
that.
so many people that are grown men right now that, they're still in the closet. And there's been situations where I'm just like, because that's essentially, I feel like what my mother would want me to live in a lie. And when I've spoken to these men, that's something that even from a younger self before I met these men, I said I'd never do because I have to stay true to myself. Who are you if you're not true to yourself with
Yep.
who you are and what you believe in?
Yep.
And quite frankly, I feel bad for those people because they're living in a lie and they're lying to other people when in reality, from the human experience, you really shouldn't be doing or going through that. So even now, like society being more accepting and everything, referencing back to what you said about like PDA and stuff, it's still like something that we all go through on the back of our heads. Like how we look in front of other people. Are we going to get attacked? Are we going to get hate crime? That's still something that still in this day, something that happens. And that's something that always lives in my mind, even though I fucking kill it and I strut with my fits and I give no fucks and I just look forward. I can feel everybody looking at me. And I always say, put one foot in front of the other and look forward and don't give a fuck.
Period.
Live your life.
You're probably like such a huge role model for so many people. And I feel like you talking about this right now, and whoever hears it, however many views it gets, it doesn't really matter. You're going to be helping so many people.
I've always wanted to help kids that were in my situation growing up. I always thought of it. I'm like, I want to help kids because this isn't something a child or anybody should go through, not feeling like the people that should love you the most don't love you. It's the worst feeling in the world. It's a fear that pretty much everybody goes through. And I've always, like, whenever I've met people from the community that are like, yeah, my parents accepted me and everything, I was always like, why can't that be me?
Yeah.
Like,
that's tough.
Yeah. And I'm like, you should be so grateful for that.
Yeah.
So grateful. And my friends often champion me for that because they're like, you've gone through so much in that aspect, but you still put on your platforms and you walk through those streets every fucking day knowing who you are.
Yep, 100%. And I feel like that confidence rubs off on like so many people around you, no matter who they are.
I had to learn that for myself. Nobody taught me that.
Well, Lady Gaga taught you that.
Well, yeah, Lady Gaga taught me that.
Don't discredit the queen.
I'm not going to discredit you, but in my reality, I had to make sure I learned it and believed it. Because you can hear it and you could want it, but if you don't believe it, it doesn't count. You're going to live hiding, and that's not what you want to do. Why does everybody else get the chance to be happy, and why shouldn't you be happy because of who you are? Listen, if you're not a threat to society or you don't mean harm in a bad way, or you don't have, or if you're not doing something for malintentions, be who the fuck you are. There is somebody for everybody out there, and I'm not just talking about love. It's also people that you meet. Like, there are people out there that will support you and will love you and will be there for you and will look up to you because you're a champion in this world for even doing that. You are brave. Period. And that is something that I also learned. I'm like, I have to be brave for myself. And even now to this day, every single thing that I do where I feel like I've triumphed from that, I do it for my younger self. I think about him. I'm like, he would be so proud. I've done some questionable things, but he would be proud.
Right.
He would be very fucking proud. In fact, seeing him seeing these shoes right now. Ooh.
Oh my God, your leg is shaking. We did legs today.
Yeah, we did legs. I apologize. He would be so fucking proud. He would say, we did it.
We did it, Joe.
Yeah, and he'd love you.
Aw. I mean, you love me now, girl.
I know.
Shit, he better love me.
He does love you. I
Well,
always said you look like the type of bitch that would, like, if we went to high school together and someone was fucking with me, like, Franny's that bitch that would be like, okay, what's your fucking problem? Like,
yep,
one of my girlies, and I
100%.
believe that.
Yep, I'm a big ally. I
Yeah.
don't fuck with that shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, hate gives you wrinkles.
And pimples and
Yeah.
acne
Yeah.
and bad karma. Just
Yeah.
don't do it.
Just don't do it.
Don't be a fucking hater. Be a lover. Accept people for who they are.
Yeah.
Period.
Period.
Well, Santi, I'm so happy that you shared that with me. And I love you so much. And thank you for being so vulnerable on this platform. That's one of the first things I told you that I wanted you to do when we first started this. And I'm very proud of you. I feel like you've grown so much in the past year that I've known you, from your birthday last year to now. I feel like you've grown so much. And I feel like you're eager to learn. You know, I feel like you're always willing to try and to do more and to like challenge yourself. And I feel like that's something beautiful about you, is that you can take in these things without also like judging yourself or feeling like less than. I feel like you always put your best foot forward in all situations. You know, you never let your light dim. You know, you could be upset, but even when you are upset, you're always cracking jokes and making the best out of each
Yeah.
situation. So he's laughing because we did a case study.
It was a roast.
It wasn't a rose. It was a case study on how we can get better with, you know, our processes of the podcast. And I feel like Santi took it and he was willing to try and learn, which is a great thing, because I feel like a lot of people, it's very hard for them to take constructive criticism and be like, okay, like, how can I do better? You
You
know,
just have to be a team player.
100%.
You have to be a team player in all aspects. And
Mm-hmm.
I know that in this situation, I know I joke around about a roast, but I know that you do this too. And you're always on top of me because you care a lot about me,
Mm-hmm.
which, discussing this topic, is very nurturing to me. Having a friend like you that is very supportive and really cares about me and is constantly looking over me, because, like I said, that's something I disassociated a
Mm-hmm.
long time ago from
Mm-hmm.
people that should automatically love you. And I'm not saying my family doesn't love me, and I'm not saying my mom doesn't love me. I know she does. That's
Mm-hmm.
something that have never doubted. It's just hard, but it's always been very nurturing to have friends that I could rely on and talk to and kind of help me pave the way for myself. So I want to
Mm-hmm.
thank you for that.
Oh, of course. I'm always here for you, and I'm always gonna support you. Oh my God,
The part.
support you no matter what, unless it's like really bad decisions, and I'm that bitch that tells you, don't do it, girl.
That's like half the time, Brandy.
Right. But that's why we love each other, because we're very straightforward with each other. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, and happy Pride Month to
Happy Pride Month,
everyone.
everybody. I just also want to say to anybody that's watching this and is going through a similar struggle, number one, this is very cliche to say, but you are not alone. And number two, love yourself so fucking much, because at the end of the day, yourself is all you've got. And what you give out into this world in any person is truly special. So never let anyone dim your light. Don't ever let anyone tell you who you can be. Don't let anyone tell you you can't wear that. Don't let anyone make you feel like you're more little than what you are, because the people that get told that you're little in the world are the most special people. And those people that are attacking you are the ones that want to make you feel small because they know it. So don't give up on who you are, and always make sure that you are the brightest light in any area and in everybody else's life.
Period. And as a straight woman, for gay pride, I don't have much to say. I feel like I wanted to make this about Santi. All I could say as a straight woman is literally just accept people for who they are. Don't ever judge people. You know, people want that comfort, just like you said. You never know what someone is going through, so just be that guidance or be that person for your friend, for your son, for your mom, whoever it is that is coming out in these times. Just be there for them.
Support.
And
Support is
support.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. It can make anybody's world and life much better. Just knowing that In the words of Lady Gaga, there could be 100 people in a room and 99 don't believe in you. You just need that one.
That bitch really milked the fuck out of
Yeah,
that.
I mean, girl, if I was on a press tour too, where they're asking me the same fucking questions, I'd also be scripted.
You're gonna be like, look at my new tattoo, and it's gonna say that.
Like, 99 people. I'd be like, look at my bicep.
Look at my scripture from God herself.
So yeah,
So what are your birthday plans? What's like in store?
you tell me.
Yeah, so I'm planning Santi's birthday. You know.
She has an idea of what I want.
Yes. I mean, you know, you told me exactly what you wanted. So now it's up to me to put it into the action of it. Well, yeah, you'll probably see a lot of videos and photos of us celebrating your birthday. So I'll put it in a little montage at the end of this video so you can see how much fun we had on Santi's birthday,
Also,
25th birthday.
if you see me drunk in those, I just want you to know it's not me. It's my alter ego. Her name is Yolanda.
Yoli for short.
She's messy. She's wild. She's a swimmer. She's also a matchmaker. The worst though, but she's just there to have a good fucking time.
Yeah, the worst matchmaker. That is very true. Anyways, we love you so much and thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you tell Santi happy motherfucking birthday, even though this is coming out a week after his birthday, but still show him some love. We love Santi. He's a reason that you guys watch in reality, bitch.
Oh, stop.
It's true.
It's a
People
duo.
are like, Santi.
On my world, people are like, Franny.
It's funny because I call myself the Kris Jenner and he is my Kim Kardashian. Like, I'm like, let's make money.
Yes, and she's like, you're doing amazing, sweetie.
Yeah, I try to make him do the most scandalous shit and like record it. I'm like, go do it, Santi. We need to make money. Anyways, we love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and once again, thank you, Santi, for sharing. And
course.
happy Pride Month to
Happy
everyone.
Pride Month, everybody. We will be dropping my Cash App for any birthday
Drinks
or, you know, help a boy out.
Mm-hmm.
It's in this economy, girl. We'll put the link. But
Yeah.
thank you, Franny, so much for making me feel safe. And I'm very glad I got to tell my story here today. And we love you guys so much. So,
let's kill this drink.
Okay. You better chug.
Are we gonna chug it?
Yeah,
for
you
real?
better chug.
I don't think I can.
There's
do
only
that.
one way to do it when it tastes like this.
Oh no, bitch! I'm so scared. I don't think I can do it. I'm gonna throw up. I can do it. Wait, actually, it's not that bad. I can do it.
I feel it's because we've already drinking some of it. This tastes like George's champagne. If anyone's ever been to George's, that gasoline champagne they used to serve in brunch, that's what it
I'm
tastes
treating
like.
it like pre-workout. Look at how much I was gonna drink. That's what I do with my pre-workout. I drink every sip because I'm like,
Let's get it.
All right.
Bye. Cut.
It's your birthday. You can get away with it.
Bye.
Crackhead.
By the way, to all the internet fucking trolls out there, do not come for my fucking mother. I love that woman. Do not come for her. This is my own battle, not yours. Okay, bye.